Hey gang, John Bacarella here with your Lake St. Clair Fishing Report brought to you by Sportsmen Direct. It is Thursday, April 22nd, and the sun is out. And there's no snow out there today, which we had yesterday, which was kind of a rude awakening, although this morning was a rude awakening because it was only like, I don't know, 27 degrees or something like that. And here's the thing about this time of the year. It really is all about water temp and weather. Wind direction too, because obviously up here on St. Clair, with being a big water like it is, you can only fish when the wind is cooperating. So, but with that said, water temperature at Belle Isle has dropped considerably from our last report and over the last several days, and was actually only 47 degrees this morning when I checked. So it's dropped a couple of degrees. So we're going in the wrong direction. And for you guys that fished this week, you probably saw that because the fishing was pretty tough, especially for those walleyes in the Detroit River. The bite slowed down considerably for a lot of people, and but don't get discouraged, okay? Because it's going to pick back up, and it's going to pick back up in a big way. Because generally when the water temp's falling back, that causes these fish to go at least neutral, if not negative, okay? Unless you're on a giant pile of fish, and you can always get a few of those fish to bite. But when that water temperature is falling, it definitely doesn't help the fishing. But now we're going to be on the other side of the coin. It's going to swing upwards. And if you looked at the extended forecast going into next week, it's going to go up in a big way to pushing 80 degrees by the middle of the week. So like Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to be the mid to upper 70s. And with the way these weathermen are, we could, it could be 85 or something, because they could be off, 10 degrees the wrong direction. But anyways, bottom line is it's going to be warmer today. Our nights are going to be warmer, and that water temperature is going to catch back up. And it doesn't really matter if it catches back up to the 49 that we were at last week. It just matters that it's going on the uptick. So as the water temperature goes up, and with the sunshine out there today, that's going to make those fish feel even warmer. And you know what the smallies like to do when that water temp goes up? They like to go shallower, or I should say when the sun is out, they're going to get more active, because they're almost like little solar cells, right? When they feel that sunshine, it seems like they get more active. Same thing with the panfish. So let's get into the fishing side of it. So that's the water temp. Although I will say this about the fishing up in the St. Clair River didn't seem to be as affected as much by that cold snap, and that's primarily because that water's coming out of Lake Huron, and this cold snap we had really didn't affect that overall water temp too much up there. So up around Algonac, the bite was still going okay, at least compared to the Detroit River, and a lot of guys middle of the week kind of changed their tactics and went up to the St. Clair River for a better bite. So that's what I'm going to say about the St. Clair River right now, is that the bite has been better up there, and it's going to even get better yet as we warm up, like the whole rest of the system will. So Detroit River, yeah, it's kind of slow this week, but going to pick up. Stay off of that Canadian side, guys. Some guys got popped last week over on the Canadian side. I know a couple of charter captains that had kind of an interesting day over there, so to say the least. And it sounds like on the Canadian side, they're enforcing kind of what we went through last spring, where they're not even letting guys launch the boats. So those folks over there are going to be a little riled up, and they're probably not going to be overly forgiving for folks going across the border if they're not even allowed to do it themselves. So that just, it's a serious warning. So, you can do what you want to do, but just know that if you go over there could be consequences, and it could be expensive. Now, a couple of the guys went out during the week, and like I said, the walleye fishing was a little bit slower than it had been because of the water temperatures. But if you go out there and you're going to spend the whole day, don't be one-dimensional. Take some extra tackle with you. Take some panfish rods. Take a bait caster for casting for smallies or something. And if that walleye bite just gets you down, then change tactics a little bit, like Spencer and one of his buddies did up by Algonac this year or last week, and they went out and they got into some nice panfish. So they got some really nice walleyes, and then they went back into one of the canals or one of the cuts up there, and they got into crappies and bluegills and big pumpkin seeds, and they just had a blast, and they came out with just a pile of fish. Same thing in and around our little shop over there in Harris, or in boy, Chesterfield, I'm drawing a blank here, too early in the morning to be shooting a video, but up in Chesterfield in the canals there, the pumpkin seeds and the gills are starting to come in pretty good, or at least getting more active. They've probably been in there the whole time, but the activity level is going up, and like on a day like today with that sun out again, those panfish, the panfish bite is going to pick up. So, you know, don't sell yourself short. And for you guys that just want to target the panfish, the canals, same thing. This warm-up, it's going to explode. Largemouths in these canals, they're going to explode with that water temp going to turn around and go back the other way, especially going into the early parts of next week. So don't be afraid to take more than, you know, to have more than one game plan when you're going out there. Take the perch rods, take the bass rods, take the panfish rods. And if you get bored do the walleye jigging thing, then just change it up and go in tight. Over in Fisher Bay, the perch bite's still going over there really good. I guess the fish are still pre-spawn in many cases, so the big hens are in there and the perch are going over there as well. So this week, do not be one-dimensional. Go out and set yourself up for success. You know, play the winds. I did look at try to get a look at the aerial footage of the lake satellite image this morning, and I could not get a good read on what that north wind that we had yesterday really did out there. I expect the mile roads will still be looking pretty good for you bass guys going into this weekend and next week, unless we get another big wind shift. And you can kind of expect that you're going to get a big hard south blow going into like Monday probably with that warm-up coming. So just kind of plan on that. Try to think ahead a little bit as to what's going on out there with the warm-ups and cool downs, and you'll have a much more successful day out there. Let's see what else. Anything else I got for you guys? I think that's really about it. You know, the smallmouth bite's going to pick up with that warm-up coming. Everything is just going to pick up. So even though it was kind of a dull week here with the weather and the snow and all that stuff, better times are ahead. Water temp's going to be going up, and the fish activity is going to be going up too. So take advantage of it. Get out there and have a good one, guys. Take advantage of the great fishing out here on Lake St. Clair, Detroit, and St. Clair rivers. Hey, if you like this video content and you want to get updated as soon as the next video is out there, hit that subscribe button and a little bell icon, and you'll get notified as soon as the next video is up.